And I don't know how many Rangers I've fixed up and passed on to locals. I probably had 15 Rangers through here. But the one I've got now is probably the best looking one. Doesn't look new, but it looks very, very nice. And the Valiant is really nice. It almost looks new. Front panel is almost perfect, just around the edges. A few little dings. So I have a lot of fun playing those. And I got an early model DX60, which is the same transmitter I use, same model anyway, that I used as a novice. But it's not the original transmitter I had. All the equipment I had got traded off or sold off. When I started college, I just ran out of money. I hated to sell my ham equipment, my TR4 and an SB220. GI Bill helped a lot, but didn't cover all the expenses. KB3, you have to excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of hoarseness here. Keep clearing my throat for some reason. KB3 RHR WBAPFS. Hi Mike, AIF. And now a group, WBAPFS. It's funny you chatted in there, Mike. I was going to ask Jack lives over there by John. I was wondering if you know WZ8D, Jack. Not too far away, and I was thinking I heard you somewhere. I don't know. I don't know if you know John Green. Something tells me he used to talk to you, and I chimed in with you guys a few times, but maybe not. Anyway, good to hear you, Mike. Well, you've been through it all. I didn't get to play with that. So all that stuff I got to play with Jack was new. Of course, I never had the formal training, but somebody in the unit had formal. Did a lot of East Coast stuff, as far west as Colorado, a lot of New York. And I got deployed to Germany, which was, man, that was great. Take a country boy from the backwoods of southwestern PA and take him to Germany. Oh man, I was in Kaiserslautern for almost 2 years. It was about a year and a half. And then back stateside, but man, it was a lot of fun. So got to play with all that stuff, but you got the training. And that Viking 2 CDC I picked up, man, I think that's a good one. I want to hang on to that. Got it right, and it's just something to have, I guess, for me anyways, because I'm the young kid, so I don't see too many of those anywhere I go. So I like to hang on to it, I think. So that's why the new room, Jack. It's I'm filling this place up pretty quick, so we'll put all that stuff in the new room. But anyway, I'll send it over to Mike, and then Mike sent it to Jack. WBA-BFS, you might even know Mike. He's pretty close to you as well, Mike. So W8IF, here it comes, and you can send it over to WBA-BFS. So this is KB3RHR. Okie dokie. KB3RHR and WBA-BFS. W8IF. Well, good to hear you guys. And yeah, Jack may or may not know me, but I grew up here, so I think that's where Jack has been for a long time. Neil Gardinas and Steve Sedgwick and people like that. So anyway, nice to run into you guys this evening.
can do, H.I.
Wow, yeah, you got a nice signal here, and I'm going to guess, I'm going to throw this out there and guess you're on an ICOM 7300. But I could be wrong. Very good. Mike, yes, I am in Loveland, and I wonder where you were located, where you grew up, or where you lived here in Loveland. And where I live is not too far from King's Auto Mall, if that was around when you were here, or if you know of it. But it's, I live on, my address is actually Fields Erdel Road, but I'm back in the woods. There's 4 houses on 20 acres, and I bought one of the houses, and no deed restrictions. That was a real plus. Lots and lots of trees, 80 feet, 100 feet high trees, and I was able to put up 100-foot tower because of the no deed restrictions. And I lived in a rental house for about 5 years, about a mile away. And I probably drove by the access gravel driveway to this place, as well as the other 3 houses back here. I probably drove by it 100 times and had no clue that the houses were back in the woods. And one day my realtor called me and said, "I got the house you like. You'll love this house." And I thought, yeah, you've told me that 10 times before, and then you take me to a subdivision where you can't put up any antennas and the houses are 10 feet apart. I drove back here and looked at the house and thought, oh my God, this is perfect. I was ready to sign on the dotted line before I even looked inside the house. Oh boy. And yeah, I know Neil. He's out in Montana. He moved out there. Don't know if you still talk to him, but he's. I've got a UHF repeater. I have an Echolink system set up on it that goes through the repeater, and Neil's checked in on that a couple times. And I think Neil went over to the dark side. He gets on DMR radio, which I can't stand because of the lousy audio that it's got. And the idea of operating through the internet all the time to make radio contacts does not appeal to me either. So needless to say, I'm not much of a DMR fan. I'd much rather hear beautiful, analog, high-quality audio. So there you go, Mike. And what was your old call before you got the 2-letter? I don't know, maybe I've talked to you in a past life with your old call, who knows? But anyway, I'm on Fields Erdel, about 1.5 miles east of I-71. So back to you, Craig. KB3, RHR, and the group WB8BFS.
Yeah, okay, Jack. Well, Mike's, I guess, Mike's one of the first Elmers who continually, sometimes still yells at me like an Elmer. I have to get in the voice. I have to get in character. Why do you have to mess with things? Why do you have to touch that? Don't do that. That's Elmer voice that I hear on the phone, and we're far enough apart that he can't slap me, but I'm pretty sure there's times back 12 years ago he probably wanted to. But sometimes you gotta learn, Jack. But yeah, when I get into a pickle and I'm not 100% sure, well, he knows his phone's ringing. And something's up. So it's usually, I usually get the lecture, the Elmer lecture, the old school stuff, not this new stuff. It's on the last of the generations that can be offended and still continue on. But that's right, man. That's our old school Elmering. Where he got it from, it's passed down. Unfortunately, I try to apply that stuff at work, and the children, they don't like that talk. So it don't work out for me all the time. But so Mike and I both ran 6 meters pretty heavy, and he knows kind of why I'm here. Same reason, you know, is the fact that the challenge is gone, and when they brought out the FT8, hook your computer to your radio and walk away and mow grass and come back and you've worked DX, and the challenge is not there. I like to sit here with my cans on for 3 hours listening to white noise just to pull one call out of the noise from across the pond. So when that all happened, I said, I'm out of here for a while. And I'm glad I came over to this side a little bit anyway. It's cost me more money, but it's a lot more fun. And what else I got to add? I still use the rice box stuff. I picked up, Jack, I picked up an Sdrplay that I really fell in love with. It's pretty neat. But I, like you, I'm going to have to get my Rangers. I have 2 Rangers, and my problem is finding the proper amplifier to put with them. I would say probably homebrew would be better, but I'm way off from that yet. And put those guys together. I ran the Ranger a lot on 20 meters, Jack. I've been well, there's a lot of West Coast guys on 20 here in the summertime. I met a good friend of mine now, Clark, a younger guy, almost my age, I think. KE7TRP. And those guys run on 14.330 or so. So I get on there with the Ranger and the lower power stuff because I have a little bit better antenna there. So still doing a little bit of 40 meter work ever since I got this new toy, though. You know how it is, Jack. The shiny new toy, I have to completely play it. So I'm going to get on 40 here this weekend a little bit and say hello to those guys again. It's kind of funny how 75 has its usual suspects and 40 has its usual suspects. So I'm making friends all over. I tell you, a good bunch of guys. And all willing to Elmer and mold you into the proper AM operator that you should be. So that's what I kind of like about it. So here comes Mike. Yeah, your audio sounds about normal where you were the last time, so it sounds pretty good. But this is like the 3rd time you transmitted on AM, old buzzard. I think it's about time for you to at least put something together. W8IF, here it comes with WB8 BFS. This is KB3RHR.
I don't know. So, because I transmit 3 times, I'm supposed to get on and build something. You know, what you need to do is you need to take your Ranger and put it up to your AL1500. Run the AL1500 and tune it up and make sure you don't overcouple it. ICOM, yes. 7700, however, D104 microphone. Has a little source follower and a set just kind of right on the knee of the it works pretty good. Has pretty decent audio. And I built this little AGC biasing box plug into this thing that I just throw a switch and it's already adjusted. And when I want to operate sideband, I throw it the other way and it turns off everything. But anywho, it doesn't do too bad. Let's see, Jack. I need to ask you. Let's see. I'm taking some notes here. I want you to tell me, Jack, tell me what side of Montgomery Road you're on. Are you on the Loveland side of Montgomery Road? Are you on the Montgomery Road? I'd be curious. And Jack, I know exactly where you are. I know the neighborhood well. My aunt and uncle were Nellie and John Cole. Nellie Cole Realty. So that's family, and we used to fish in that big pond there on Field Turtle. And the only thing that was back then, I think Uncle Doc and Aunt Nellie, I think they had 24 acres. And the driveway was just there was a bend in Field Turtle Road, and just past the bend, or it was kind of in the middle of the bend, was a spillway of the pond, and you drove a little bit towards I-71, and that was there when we shot that back in there and everything else. Picnic, my God, I've been all over that place, but anyhow, why they sold all that for development. So anyway, let's see here. Well, what else I want to say here? Where am I from? Well, I'm from the other side of Loveland, down towards Milford, out off Guinea, off Paxton Guinea Road. What is called Paxton Guinea Road now. It was just Paxton Road back then. And Paxton Road was considered one road. You got Paxton Road now and Paxton Guinea Road, but the whole daggone road was Paxton Road. And my old call was WB8IFT. And as a kid, I knew W8IF. So I met him over in the Kroger's parking lot in Montgomery when I was in high school. And he saw my call sign plastered all over my 68 VW. And he walked up and introduced himself to me, and we became fast friends. And his opening line was, "Hey, my call is inside your call." And that was we were good buddies. And then when he retired and moved to New Mexico, he changed his call to a 5. I lost track of him. And of course, I went in the military, was in the Air Force for hitch, and was a repair guy. Had training in high power HF and VHF and the whole crapping thing, but that's a long story. So anyway, Jack, here it comes. WB8BFS in the bunch. W8I.
W8IF, and a group WBABFS. Very good. Now I'm trying to think. WBAIFP. Don't know if I chatted with you. I may have. I was telling Craig, I don't know if you heard, but I was also in the Air Force in the early 70s. And, yeah, the crypto guys used to come around to the shelter that I was in charge of. I was did the maintenance on a little HF unit that was inside of one of these. It was in a 6x, and a little shelter that kind of sat in the back, but I think it ran a couple kilowatts on the HF, but they had a area in there where the crypto got installed. And I guess that's what you were messing with. But I had to scoot back then when the crypto guys would come around, because I didn't have a security clearance. At least I didn't back then. But later on, after I got my degree in computer science, I worked for a local company here in town, and did a lot of government 3-letter agency type communications stuff with software and some hardware and even some radio stuff. So it was a lot of fun and interesting. But then they offered a big retirement package about 7 or 8 years ago, and jumped on that. So I've been retired and loving it ever since, and it'll be 8 years in May. And I'm just thrilled to be out and be able to do stuff I want to do. And I guess, Craig, you'll be there one of these days. So yeah, Mike, I am east of Montgomery Road, probably about half a mile, maybe a little more. And I don't know the last time you've been here, but it's just amazing how much it changed. And I used to come out to this part of the area when I was a kid. My older sister had a girlfriend who had a farm out on Fields-Erdel Road, and I came out here with her a couple times. And it's kind of like you described. It was just a 2-lane road. Hardly anything out here. Man, if somebody had the foresight to buy 50 acres back then, you'd have made a killing off of it. And let's see, Craig, you asked me earlier if I knew WZ8D. I don't really know him, but I know of him. And when my wife and I used to take the dogs for a walk a little bit east of here, I saw this big tower and antennas, and I thought, who in the hell is that guy? And I was always kind of curious who that was, and I was not active on 6. But I found out one day who it was, and the way I found out was not through ham radio equipment, but through my television set. This was back in the NTSC days. I was watching Channel 2, and all of a sudden I started getting interference where the TV would just blank out, and I'd hear and I listened closely, and I could make out WZ8D, and I said, I'll be damned, that's some ham interfering with me. I'll bet it's coming from that guy right across a little Miami. Oh boy, sure enough, that was him. So he was QRMing my TV set, and I'm probably a good mile and a half away. So I don't know what he was running on 6, but I imagine he was running a couple of KW at least. Maybe 5 or 10, I don't know. But I don't think I've ever talked to him. I think he used to have a beacon. But at some point, it's maybe been 5 or 10 years ago, he did move. Because the antennas are no longer there, and I think I heard that he had moved. But I think that he maintains a beacon on 6. Anyway, there is a beacon around here that I can tune in on my radios that have 6 meters in them. And the source follower, the D104, I do the exact same thing with the D104 that I'm using on my Apache Labs radio. I use a D104 on that. I just love D104s. So I put I call it a FET follower. I put that in the base, very high input impedance, about 10 megohm. And the crystal cartridge just loves that. And then the output impedance is maybe 300 or 400 ohms. There's no gain, but it's the same thing as having a transformer in there. Of course, it's flat and very low distortion. So it works wonderfully.